Hey folks, I'm DJ Ninja, and I've got a few guests with me today: Crypto Smooths and Trade Doctor. Welcome.
How we doing, Daniel?
How
Thanks
are
for
you guys?
having me, man. Doing
Okay,
great.
so today we're just gonna talk about Phantom, the DeFi ecosystem, and a few new yield farms around that are giving the best yields in the market right now.
And
So
you know they're not really well known either.
No, they've only been out a few days, so it's probably quite new in the DGen space.
Right.
So firstly, I'm just going to talk about Phantom. Why Phantom? Just going to go through some tokenomics surrounding the token and the coin. So a good indicator when you're comparing apples with apples in the DeFi space is when you're comparing intrinsic value of different crypto coins versus the other. So what is an accurate tool to do that? One of the most active or most effective tools to gauge different altcoins in the same space is using the MC to TVL ratio. So that's market cap divided by total value locked in the blockchain. So at the moment, FTM is the most undervalued DeFi altcoin there out in the space right now.
I agree 100%.
So how do we know this? So we go to this website up here, defilama.com/chains. And basically it allows you to cross compare between different altcoins in regards to its various fundamentals. So the main one we're looking at is the market cap divided by the TVL ratio. So we compare, as of making the slide yesterday, the various ratios of various different coins is over here. I'm just going to move this box up over here. So you can see like a few of the more prominent altcoins in the DeFi space. Ethereum is at 3.01. Luna 1.45, AVAX 1.95, Solana 4.18, BNB is at 5.25, Matic 2.66, and as you can see, FTM is only 0.3965. So that tells me that FTM is the most undervalued by intrinsic value according to this market cap divided by TVL ratio.
Numbers do not lie.
So out of those major DeFi ecosystems altcoins there, you can see Solana and BNB is probably on the top of the range. And also Polkadot. Polkadot's over 18 or 19, I think, by that ratio.
No, honestly, I think just to jump in real quick, I honestly think DOT by the end of the year may be one of the best performing APY percentage-wise, just because that whole switch from, you know, KSM being a placeholder and DOT with its interoperability between metaverses and, you know, just the voting protocols that they've put into place now. It's very undervalued at this moment on March 1st.
According to this stat, because of the total value locked in its DeFi protocols, DOT is on the high range at the moment, just on this indicator, but doesn't mean that there's no potential in the coin. I'm just using this as a benchmark ratio to value coins as to where they are in this development phase.
Yeah.
So right now, AVAX and Phantom and Luna are probably ahead of Polkadot as to the amount of DeFi protocols that are running on it, and GameFi, various GameFi platforms running on these three. So Ethereum is about right value at 3.
Yeah.
Solana and BNB is slightly overvalued. Anything over 4 or 5 is still a little bit overvalued. Osmo is currently about 1.8, so it's still pretty low for its price, coin price. And Matic's about right at about 2, between 2 and 3.
A little bit overvalued.
So today we're going to talk about Solidex and Solidly. So they were started by the guy that started Yuan Finance and the guy that started Phantom. that Phantom ecosystem. So it's the same guy that's involved with all this DeFi, and basically started Solidex and Solidly.
Right.
So,
And you know, I think that's something people don't look to a lot, especially with there's so much information out there. People get info overloaded. And really you need to look to see who's doing the project. And if it's prominent names like that, it's going to work.
yeah, well, in the DeFi space, you've got to have some credibility and
Right.
like a brand, like someone that you can trust. Because
Exactly.
it's unregulated. So it means that if you're a dodgy person, you don't have a good reputation, then it's sort of like a rug pull, right? So
Yeah,
like
exactly.
People float on BSC and like 70% of them are rug pull.
Oh my God, it's the Wild West, even still now.
Yeah, so this, can you guys see my screen there, bro?
Yep.
So solidexfinance.com is the website for this DEX that's built on Phantom. So currently you can see that there's total value locked in Solidex is 2.26 billion. And the amount of solid tokens locked in the ecosystem, which is the governance token of this DEX, is 8.68 million. And it's only been around for less than a week. SEX is another
actually, wow.
SEX, SEX token, excuse the funny acronym, is another token that you earn from your yield farm along with Solid. So when you're staking two cryptos in a liquidity pair, you're on the DEX, on Solidex, you're actually earning Solid and SEX. So I'll just go through. Oh, hang on.
Can I throw a question?
Yeah.
Like when you earn, are those tokens, you can throw them onto an exchange to trade, or you have to swap them out there?
Currently, it's probably on Uniswap and a lot of decentralized exchanges, but not on something like Binance or KuCoin. It's not a listed coin yet.
Yeah,
So
definitely a lot of the DEXs for sure.
You can do swaps on the DeFi platform itself. I don't recommend using the swaps on Solidly, which is the other exchange, the sister exchange of Solidex. So solidly.exchange is the website. They've got swaps here, but it's quite a bit of slippage.
Oh yeah.
Exchange rate. So it's better to use Spooky Swap for Phantom or what's the other one? Spooky Swap or Spirit Swap to do your coin swaps before you bring liquidity pairs onto Solidly. Otherwise, you're going to get raped. Otherwise, if you swap over here, you're going to get raped.
Yeah.
On the exchange rate. So what you want to do is
you really have to choose your bridges and your swaps carefully.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently found Umbria, which is, you know, kind of, you know, it's very new, and what it does is just really like to bridge from one chain to another, like from ETH to mainnet, which would usually be, you know, depending on the time of day, $100+ or you know, $40 plus. Absolutely. And it's like $10 the way they do and layer their protocols. That was an interesting one I found recently.
Okay, so I'm just going to go through a few pointers on the Solidex Solidly tokenomics. So Solidex and Solidly is an AMM DEX decentralized exchange, for those who don't know what those acronyms stand for liquidity providers and yield farm generation. So when you're providing liquidity pairs in a pool, you're earning Solid tokens and SEX tokens as an incentive. How they designed it is when you lock up Solid as VE Solid for longer periods of time, say a couple of months to a year, you're earning extra rewards and governance voting power as to how to direct the Solid missions towards various LP pools. So that means you've got voting power. The more Solid that you lock up as VE Solid, what they do is it sort of incentivizes as a NFT, governance NFT on the platform, and you can decide how much solid, how high the APY is towards a certain liquidity pair pool. So for example, if you were heavy on FTM 6 or FTM solid or solid 6 LP pair, you can vote on those pairs and boost up the votes so that it passes through on the governance. So you can keep it high as on the yield. And that's the incentive for whales to accumulate that token and lock it up.
Right.
Because that means you can drive up the yields as to how you want it. And you can't
taking
get
a page out of Dot's book right there.
So the more voting power you got, the more say you've got on the governance. That's how it works in DeFi. So proof of stake.
Yeah, and that's just what it comes down to. The more capital you,
are you there, bro?
is how it's gonna go. So you kind of have to gauge where the pools are. So
another good thing about this DEX or this DeFi platform is there's no VCs, no venture capitalists and seed investors. So it's actually quite good.
That's huge.
That's pretty good because there's no vesting period and there's no dumping on investors as the Solid and 6 token floated a couple of days ago.
Yeah, so it's much more safe.
It's sort of just on a cyclic wavy pattern. There's no like pump and then a massive dump like on day 2 or day 1 after it floats. After it's after it's float. So that's that's the good thing about it. So how do you gauge these new tokens on the DEXs? There's a very good website. I'm trying to think.
Mongolia.
No, there's one. Oh, I can't remember what it is right now, but you can gauge what the price of various DeFi coins are in the DeFi.
DEX screener.
DEX
screener.
DEX screener. Yeah, that's it. DEX screener.
Yeah, DEX screener.
So you go into DEX screener under Phantom. You can find it by ecosystem. I'll bring it up now. You can see it. And then you go on the left here, and then you go search by ecosystem, Phantom. And then you can go, I'll just wait for it to load up. See, Solid token.
Oh man, rank number 3. Wow.
Yeah, 766 is the
This is
the
one
US
of my
dollar.
favorite tools to use easily.
And number 8 on the exchange on the all-time ranking is 1506. 6 token.
That's impressive.
$15 US. So if you go to hang on, there's other columns down here.
So do you just?
I'm just looking.
DEX screener is the best to gauge all these DeFi tokens because it's probably not on CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap. Some of these
A lot of them actually are, Daniel. They're just not like verified, we'll say. They're there. For instance,
the information is lagging on the new tokens. Like if it's only floated like a couple of days, chances are it's not on CoinGecko. It'll be on here though. It'll be on here. So dexscreener.com is a very good website to gauge any DeFi or any mainstream crypto you've got in any ecosystem.
Yeah, any mainnet that you're using through custodial wallets, DEX screener is the way to go. And you know, Zapper.fi is great for kind of almost like an Excel spreadsheet for your NFTs and, you know, for all, because I've lost tokens, but Zapper.fi, it keeps track of it because it's on the blockchain and recorded.
So, so why Solidly or Solidex? Because it's only floated like a couple of days. It's a very new DeFi yield farming DEX platform. So yesterday, as of making the video, 6 was 1916 with a market cap of 34 million. Solidly was $8.80. It's dropped back a little bit since. It's about 7 something. But the market cap was 882 million. So there's huge growth potential and like very high risk to reward in terms of its development because it's early days right now. It's a very low market cap. not even
Yeah,
10
it's
mil.
probably even. Yeah.
And there's incentive to earn huge yields on the platform. So Dex Green, I've left the link down below on the slide for people that are watching this video, just to gauge what those coins are trading at in the market. So we'll go for a few LP pairs right now in Solidex. So FTM2,
Yeah, let's check them out.
the yields was about 200% APR. So if you're compounding that daily, it's a lot higher than that over the course of a year, because the APR doesn't take into account that you're compounding your principal daily.
Right, exactly.
So just going by even those yields, like FTM Liquid Driver, 716% APR.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're more of a risk-averse type investor or trader, you can pair stable coins with stable coins. So USDC.
Right. I'm actually a huge fan of MIM, Magic Internet
Money.
Magic Internet Money. That's what MIM stands for.
Yeah. So USDC MIM, they're two USD stablecoins, right? But the yield is 20.5% APR. So it's actually a lot higher in terms of APY if you're compounding it daily.
Exactly.
Whether it's going to be sustainable, it's hard to say at this stage. It's probably going to drop. It's probably going to drop
now,
down.
Daniel, what's the difference between APY and APR?
Annual percentage yield and annual percentage return. So APR is the rate that doesn't take into account that you are auto compounding your principal, whereas APY does. So APY is always going to be a higher percentage amount for the same pool.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
The number is actually a lot higher than that in terms of APY. There's actually a Google, you can probably Google it, but there's an APR to APY converter. So you type in your percentage and like the amount of time, and it will tell you what the APY is. So this one is still like your low risk play, like your stable coin LP.
Yeah, just you know, you have some extra liquidity in your custodial wallet, and you need to do something with it.
Yeah, so if you're like a low risk type of guy, and you have a lot of stable coin, and you don't want to like pair something like an FTM with Liquid Driver, you want a low risk but very stable return.
That's Marcus right there.
20%. So that's no impermanent loss risk. So that's very high, because Anchor Protocol for UST is currently about 19 to 19.5% APY.
Yeah, and even
that's really high
still.
So the fourth play there on Beethoven and F beats, that's a stable pair as well. So there's no IL risk there as well, and you're getting 611% return APR. And your DGen play is sort of like your FTM6 token, which is like 2,226% APR.
That's crazy.
But that, you know, I'm no financial advisor, but that's more like your DGen play. So only have a small percentage of your portfolio in these sort of like high risk LPPs.
Yeah, risk is always the most important thing. You have to know what your risk is. Otherwise, you know,
so for me,
we're no financial advisors here.
So for something like the DGen play over here down the bottom, for me, it'll be probably like less than 5% of my DeFi portfolio.
Absolutely. I wouldn't go higher. But that's the beauty of it. You still get that.
So that's the end of my slides in terms of this, talking about the tokenomics. So that's basically it. Allows you to play a lot of different plays. So you've got your stable coin LP plays. So that's very low IL risk, very low impermanent loss risk. And then you've got your high yield, high returns type pools as well. So what you can do is go on the Solidex and look at some of the pools. So you go into pools.
See what we got.
And then I think I'm sharing my screens right now.
Yeah, you are.
So right now, Wrap Phantom, WFTM Tomb, it's dropped down a bit now, the APR. It's 158% still.
Yeah.
And you see I've actually accumulated some SIX and Solid tokens. So once you pair up in the LP pair, you click on manage, and then you can either approve more, deposit more of the LP pair.
And does it work like Pancake Swap, where like I can just put it right back in? And
pretty much what. So you can click on claim earnings. You do the same as what you do in a DeFi. You hook in into, you log into your MetaMask, and then you go in there, and then you click confirm the claim. Use some of the phantom gas. So I'm just getting out of it now because I'm just going to let it accumulate a bit more before I reap the farm. But so yeah, so I'll put some money in there. So you can filter your options. You've got stable coin pairs, so you click on stable. Volatile, so like your high risk altcoin LP pairs. And then my deposits is what farms that or what yield farms or what LP liquidity pools you actually currently got your money in. So you click on my deposits and see I've got WFTM too. So that's
that's the exact one I would have put all my LP into.
So this is
that's
not
the one
like
I
a
was
medium risk.
I know, and that's why I love it. You know, medium risk wise, that's where I want to be for as far as like really putting in some money into a pool.
Why would I put my money in something like this? So the first thing I'll look at is TVL, the total value locked in this pool. There's 165 mil locked in here.
That's a direct indicator right there, you know, because what people have locked in that pool is so important, because you know what whales end up doing is they manipulate the entire pools, and you get those rug pull things, which is where DeFi in the beginning kind of got their bad reputation. It's by people doing that, those type of rug pulls that occurred a lot.
Yep.
And now we're getting into this phase where we have these high TVLs, and you know it's stable, and you're gonna get that high APR.
So
I want to try this.
So if
Daniel,
you go into the pools again, click onto your LP pairs, it'll actually give you some stats as to what is returning in terms of APY. So
Daniel, could you look at something right there?
Yeah.
The one that's WFTM/SEC.
SEX?
You were saying that it has, yeah, WFTMs.
Yeah, this one?
Yes.
That one was at 2,226% yesterday while I was making the slide. It's dropped back down because what happened is there's more people pulling into this pool. You can see there's $51 million right in this LP pool right now.
Yeah.
I think it was probably around 30 million yesterday. So the more people lock into a new pool, it's going to drive the yield farm yields down. So you want to get in as early as possible. The reason why I didn't share this earlier was because we weren't all available yesterday, but I had it all prepped up. So
yeah, no, I noticed how much of a change there was in some of them. Some of them were cut in half.
Yeah. So this was like over 2,000%. So what you do is you click on this APR column right now, and it has an APR breakdown. What that means in terms of your accumulated solid and SEX tokens. So it means that you're collecting your solid tokens at 1,352.1%, and your SEX tokens is accumulating on the yield farm at 612%. So that's assuming the current boost at 1.5.
I'd put some in there.
Because what's actually happening is when you are actually staking or doing liquidity pool providing for the actual token of the actual platform, they boost it a lot higher, the ratio. So you're actually accumulating the solid or the SEX token faster when you are providing liquidity to that pool with the SEX token or the solid token, yeah.
So out of all of them, is this the one that you recommend?
This is one of the newest farms around. So basically not many people know about it, and that's why the yields are high.
Right.
If you go back into here next week, it's going to be a
Well,
lot
I don't
more.
want to be in the low yields, you know, who does?
But that's the thing in the
You want to be
DeFi
in the low
space.
yield one?
New things keep rolling out every week or every 2 weeks, even every day. So that's why we have to kind of keep in the loop, like in the DGen loop, on social media,
Yeah,
Twitter,
DeFi really,
on
it's like
Discord.
every
So when you
day, you know, there's a new D app coming out. So you have to really pay attention with DeFi for sure.
Yeah.
so
So
when
that's why
so
you
when
have
you
to keep
go in, like
lookout
say,
on the
I had just
platform.
one last question, Daniel,
Yep.
so if I go in right now and it says 1900%, am I locked, or like tomorrow I'll be receiving a different yield depending on how many people
Yeah,
are
it will
in
be
there?
variable, bro.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it will come
Throughout the whole
down
life
as,
of it.
but at that moment in time or that hour, you're earning that yield. So it's variable
I
rate.
got you. All right. It's
I'm
not like
gonna
you're
have
locking it
to
in.
end
No.
the recording video for the guys that are actually listening to the cast.
I know I didn't get a chance to hit my socials.
Yeah, because I've only got less than a minute before the Zoom actually finishes. So yeah,
Hey,
cheers,
good?
guys. We'll have to
Yes, man.
log in again, guys, because we have to we're gonna be timed out of this
Oh,
video.
we're
So,
definitely gonna be meeting up a lot more
sure.
on the
okay. Cheers, guys.
DF University coming.
Okay.